we're super happy, you're right, to say about Q4 result, which really confirmed the Q3 rebound we had seen. So altogether, in the second part of the year, we've seen an increase in revenue and an increase in EBITDA compared to 2019. Which means that altogether we've been able in 9 months to basically come back to pre-COVID level in terms of our earnings, which, as you can imagine, we're super happy about. And how did we do that? Of course, there is an element which was very resilient, an element of our activity, but as well, it was thanks to all our effort of adaptation and recovery, including a cost-cutting plan, which we've doubled last year.
Right, and I also see that you're making a push into hazardous waste, particularly in China. How much upside opportunity does China represent to your company at this point?
Actually, you're right to say when we presented our strategic plan last year, we had a lot of emphasis on hazardous waste development as well as, for instance, plastic recycling and coal exits thanks to CSR. The point was in hazardous waste that we really have a differentiating factor compared to our competition. And, the performance in 2020 in hazardous waste has been super satisfactory. Given the fact that, it's treating with industrial customers. Nonetheless, we've seen growth throughout the year, and we are very happy about that. Our opportunities in hazardous waste are in China, as you mentioned, but in many other countries in Asia, as well as in Europe, in the US, and even in Africa and Latin America. So pretty much an ambition across the world. We are number one in this market as we speak, and we continue to have a lot of opportunities and growth.
Estelle, may I ask you about the M&A story that has the whole French business world talking and your approach to Suez? So you mentioned the communiqué this morning that there are no discussion with the Suez board at the moment. You had a couple of legal victories this week. So what are the next steps in your approach, your hostile approach to Suez now?
I guess, first things first, where we are with this, we're, as you know, our project is to build a worldwide champion of ecological transformation, which is something the world has never needed and wished for more, in my opinion, when you look at, the necessity of greening industries as well as cities, for instance, across the globe. We started with buying of NG in the beginning of the autumn, 30% of Suez. And, 2 weeks ago, we filed a tender offer for the other 70% at the same price, so be 18 euros. This will create a lot of value for all the stakeholders, shareholders, because it will be accretive and it's a price which has a premium compared to the share price it had before, but as well to employees and our customers, because we'll be able to serve them even on a wider basis. So a very exciting project. We would be happy to have discussion with Suez on how to make it in the best way possible for all the stakeholders. But the discussion seems to not be able to happen so far, but I really welcome them. So we would like, our chairman and chief exec said very clearly, he would like to have a discussion with the board of Suez following the filing of a tender offer. You can imagine that it's a normal thing to do.
Was it a risky move to go hostile with this approach? Because you had said when you bought the first stake in Suez that you would be a friendly approach in getting the board of Suez on board to buy the rest of the company. And the French government said very clearly that they wanted this move to be friendly. So now Suez calls this a disloyal maneuver. As some people say, how can we believe the other promises that Veolia made on job cuts, for example, going ahead? So was it a risky move to go hostile at this stage of the approach?
I guess, the whole story started with the French government, authorizing Engie to sell their shares into Suez. So I guess Engie did make the first moves in selling their shares. So I guess the whole story started with that. I think, we have to start with the first point. In terms of, hostility, again, we are very welcoming any type of discussion with the Suez board as we speak. on how to make it something friendly, based on, of course, our project, which is to build the champion of the ecological transformation.